What's up, everybody? It's Stephen Williams, founder and president of the creditrepairshop.com. In today's video, I'm going to give you a little update about my wife, and I want to clarify something that I had stated about taking doctors for everything that they say. I want to clarify that. We're going to talk about the debt that's released into the market, and I'm going to have some questions about the last video that I made about charge-offs and write-offs. There's still a lot of people had questions about that video, and I want to clarify that because that's where I think when it comes to people getting into trouble with their credit, it's a lot of it starts with what they see and what they have been told what a charge off and write off means. So let's first thing is real quickly for those who care about what's going on with my wife. She is listed. What listed means is that she's done everything that the doctors asked, and now they gave us a call yesterday. It was about an hour call, and they told us that we could get a call any time of the day, 24 hours, be available, and we have to be ready to go. The drive is an hour away, and they give us a 3 hour notice. We arranged it to have a 3 hour notice, and we could actually have to go there, and then when they get the lungs, and for you that don't know, my wife is having a lung transplant. They see the lungs at that time, and if they determine that they're not uh, uh, good to be for transplant, we would just have to go back home. That's part of the whole deal. And but normally transplant, she's in the middle of the list for our area, and they said regardless of where you're at in the area, the longest amount of days is 71 days, the longest, and average is in the 40-day range. So this is going to happen over the next 3 months, regardless. It's going to happen. And we just have to be ready. So we had to have our stuff packed and we had to be ready to go. And that call could come in the middle of the night, it can come in the daytime, anytime. She's very excited. We're both very excited. We want to get this done so she can have get back to a normal life. And quickly, I want to clarify something about in a video that I said about taking uh, what the doctor says is 100%, and I didn't mean for it to come off that way. What I meant is when you join a team to do something and you make that decision, uh, then you must be 100% on that with that decision, or you will make problems arise from the decisions that you make. I'm not saying that a doctor is like knows everything. That one doctor's advice could be more than another doctor's advice. I'm not saying that my wife did a lot of stuff to question as she was going through the process. And actually, all of her doctors, I think she has 5 doctors that we've seen for each step of her process, and she has, I think, 5 doctors that are like handle each aspect of what she's going through because it made her have an enlarged heart at one period of time, and she questioned that doctor like, I mean, so much to where that doctor was like when she would ask questions, he would in a way seem like he'd get upset about it. So I'm not talking about that part. You should always question stuff when it comes to your health, anything in life, not just with health. What I'm talking about is when you make a decision to go on a certain path with medical. And really, the video was about making a decision to go with to what you're going to do to resolve your credit repair issues. But I use that as an example. When you make a decision to go with something, you need to be 100% with that decision because if you have doubts in your mind, you can actually bring about problems during the process because you yourself are not 100% dedicated to going after whatever that end result is. That's what that was mainly about. Okay, so now let's talk about the debt that's released in the market. We have another group of portfolios, um, two $2 million. They're selling it for 2 cents on the dollar. 2,390 accounts. Charge off date 2010. Average balance $836. Another group, just a little bit under. Well, it's $2 million, but this is another group of accounts. That group before was 2,390 accounts, if I didn't say that. Then this next group is $2 million, 1,700 accounts. Charge off date 2011. Average balance is $1,158. We're selling that one for 2 cents on the dollar. Also, let's go back and let's see some other ones that we got here. We got another batch, $11 million, 11.3 million, 11,868 accounts, $953 average balance, 2005, 2012 average charge off date, priced at 0.001 cents, 0.0011 cents on the dollar. Got another group here, oh, this is the same one. Another group here, mixed credit cards, 3.5 million, 2,039 accounts, average charge off date 2005 to 2010, and selling that one for 3 cents on the dollar. All right, now let's get into answering the questions, and I will also answer them on YouTube, just in case you're not here. Someone stated here, never pay it for, and this is about charge-offs and write-off video. This is one of my older videos that was on here. It said, never pay it or never go into a situation, fight it, and dispute to the bureaus. Again, it depends on where you're at in the process. If you have a charge off that just charged off 2 months ago, uh, this would not be the route to go because uh, that's it hasn't even potentially been sold to anyone, and you when you do a validation to an original creditor for a new charge off, they're just going to simply come back and say, your account just went bad. It was good for all of these months, and then it just went bad. What are you going to do about it? It what happens? What I tell people to do at that point and what we do for our customers is move them towards a settlement. If you want to get it resolved, you can let the charge off sit on there and let them go through the process of selling the charge off or write off, and then go through fighting it with the new debt collector, and you would have a good chance of winning because they sell them in batches. But time is also money. And do you want to sit and let your credit be bad? See, we have a lot of people that want good credit, but when they're doing things that don't allow you to have good credit. If you just had a repo that just happened, if you just had a charge off that just happened, I'm talking about it just went bad with your creditor. And a lot of you that are watching this video are going through this right now. And then you're expecting a company or yourself to start working on repairing your credit, and you're thinking that it's just about disputing the negative credit. You're in the wrong phase. Remember when I talked about the levels of awareness? The level of awareness of a person who wants to have good credit is not going to be the person who goes bad on their debt, and where their debts just went bad over the last few months, and then they're thinking that you're just supposed to wipe that stuff off. Let me wake you up to the awareness level that you need to be at if you're trying to repair your credit right now with debts that have just recently went bad. The level of awareness that you need to have is that you need to settle those debts. Because if you don't, you're going to dispute, and then you're just pushing time. I don't want to say wasting time, because some people are not ready to take on those debts to do settlements. So your level of awareness needs to be, you're going to have to let that time go further and get those, let those original creditors sell those charge-offs and write-offs, or make a decision to send a debt cancellation to the IRS, and then you start attacking those. Because it really doesn't do any good before that. The next one here we got, what if the original debt is past your state statute of limitations? Do you still have to pay the debt, or how can you get the debt off your credit report? If it's past your state statute of limitation for paying it, and this is another misconception. There's several statute of limitations. There's the to have it on your credit report, 7 year statute of limitations, that it can be legally reported, but there's things you can do to get it off if it's not 100% accurate. And then the other statute of limitations is on debts that you have to pay. Every state is different. And so if the debt is past the legal collection statute of limitations in your state and they do not have a judgment against you, you are not legally obligated to pay that debt. And the first thing that you should do, and I actually have a letter for this that I give away for free to people, and I do ask for a donation because it's well worth it. You could be getting out of paying thousands of dollars on that debt. Hold on one second. All right, I had a call that I had to take, but yeah, you can get out of pay. People are using this cease and desist letter, and I want to clarify real quick what it is. It's two letters. One is a cease and desist to stop all collections due to statute of limitation laws in your state. The second letter is a debt validation letter. So if it's not past the statute of limitations, you can do a debt validation directly to the third party debt collector, and you can usually get them to stop coming after you for the collections. Okay, the next one here, someone asked, do I do credit repair coaching? If it's where I coach people to repair their own credit, or are you speaking of it being in business? I'm not sure. I'll reply back to you, but I do have a membership program where I put together where you can do your own credit repair if you can't afford the services. And I put content in there where I talk about debt, like there's videos that you can watch on that that are not here on YouTube, and then there's stuff here on YouTube also. But I'm gonna ask you for more clarification on that. Here's another question. I would like to add that if write-offs are reported to the IRS, the write-off amount may be subject to additional taxes on your tax return. Yes, that is true, but not the write-off. What it is the write-off added as a 1099-C debt cancellation. This is a big misconception also. And I know this because I own several companies, and one of my companies, my publishing company, especially this year after the downturn, that company was actually losing about $10,000 a month when they had to shut down, because the businesses that advertise in my magazine were not able to do any advertising. And I decided to continue the business. We kept printing, kept paying everybody. I didn't lay anybody off. And I have a boatload of write-offs that I will have for bad debt during this period of time, but I'm not doing a debt cancellation to forgive the debt. See, there's a big difference. A business owner can write off the bad debt that we lost, but the time that it's all 100% gone is when you do the debt cancellation and send it to the IRS, saying that you will never go after that debt again. And you're not supposed to sell it. You're not supposed to go after it. I have people with my other company that I've written off, as bad debt to the IRS, which is legal. And then years later, they came to me and they paid the debt. And that is well within my right to collect that debt, because what happens is it flips over to income for that year. So you see how this works. You see how this works. If I write it off and do a debt cancellation, 1099-C, I would report that to the IRS and say that I forgave that debt and you put that as additional income to that business owner. When I do that, I cannot go after that business owner for that particular debt. If I just write off as bad debts normally with my company, there's just a section for bad debts. I'm not turning in any 1099-C debt cancellation. Years later, that person, that business owner, can come to me, which it has happened before, and they said, "Oh, I want to pay that bill and start back advertising again." So that is the difference. That's the clarification on that. So if they do send a 1099-C debt cancellation to the IRS, it will be reported as additional income to you. But you can get what's called an insolvency exemption because you were running into bad financial problems. So you will not have to pay that additional income. Get with your tax preparer to take care of that with you, to take care of that on your taxes so you don't have to pay it. There's another question. If accounts are past the statute of limitations 7 years, are they still able to be collected on? Case in point, receive a collection letter from one of those junk collection companies offering terms to settle a debt. Do I blow them off? And if I do, what will there be any repercussions? Let me tell you, you don't blow them off. Don't blow them off. What you do is you write back to them saying that this debt that they're trying to collect is past the legal statute of limitations. This is how we stop this stuff. I'm about stopping this stuff, not blowing people off and thinking that it don't exist just because you blow someone off. This is a business, and their business is to go after people with debt. Don't blow them off. Get the free letter that I give you. Make a donation on it. I'm asking you to make a donation because it's well worth it. Get the cease and desist letter so you can notify them so they can take you off of that list and get that notified. And then they will stop coming after you for it. Next one. Someone said they need to hire me to take care of the credit. I'm dealing with many personal issues and finding it difficult to focus on my credit. I need your help. If we contact us, thank you. We will help you. And this is another uh, part that I talk about when we're your team. And just like you're having trouble taking care of your personal issues, when you join us to become a team, part of that is that you need to take focus on your personal issues and don't allow your personal issues to map over to what we're trying to accomplish for you with your credit. Because if that happens, that's going to make for bad outcomes no matter how hard we work for you. Here's another question. What if you get the first company to delete the account, but it shows up under another company saying you owe? This is why I say don't blow people off, and to also do the furniture and you do with from the bureaus. Probably what you did is you got it taken off when you did it through the bureaus. But when you did it to the furniture, if you didn't do it to the furniture, they maybe were like, hey, we're just going to lump this in and sell it to another debt collector. That's what happened. And that can also happen even if you do it with furniture. I tell people that a lot of this is you're going to be continually fighting with debt collectors until they get it in their head that you are not cannot be on the list when they resell it to another debt collector. So what you need to do is you need to send them that cease and desist letter saying that the debt that they're trying to get collect is past the legal statute of limitations. If it is, if it's not past legal statute of limitation, you need to send a debt validation to that debt collector because really the process just has to start all over again. I'm sorry that has to happen, but that's just the way that it is. That's the games that are being played. Remember, they're in business to get the money. You're just a consumer trying to live your life. So this is something that you're going to be fighting a lot until one day it just stops, but you don't never leave it unresolved. Here's one here. I had a Capital One bill for $3,800. They were going to sue me, but didn't because I'm on Social Security disability income. And again, if you are on Social Security disability income, retirement, or disabled, or lost your job, anything, you should immediately contact a debt collector that's attempting to sue you, notify them of it. A lot of the times, they will not choose to continue taking you to court, and because you're considered uncollectible. Uh, so now, uh, let me continue here. They would not get any of the money from it, so they stopped. But it was on my credit reports. My son put 1,000 to settle the debt. They accepted it, but now it says on my credit report that it was settled, but not the entire amount. That's not good. I asked them to take it off my credit. They said they can't do that. Yeah, when you're doing negotiations on settling debt, you should always have that part of the negotiation process. But let me just tell you where you're at right now. When you make a settlement and you settle that for, and it's put on your credit for settle for less, let me just let you know that that does not make you look bad. That does not hurt your credit the way that you're thinking that it hurts your credit. What is hurting your credit right now is if you have other items that are not resolved. That's what's hurting your credit. I've seen it with tons of customers where we did settlements with original creditors and it had paid for less and their credit started to shoot up months later. So don't sit there worried about that. Don't. What Look at it this way. I'm a lender and I look on your credit reports, you're trying to borrow $3,000 from me, and your credit report says that you didn't pay someone else $3,800. And your credit report says that you settled for less than the original amount owed. Me as the lender is going to say that person ran into problems, but they resolved it and they're moving forward. If you have it still open for $3,800, what do you think that me as the lender is going to think? This person is still going through financial problem because they didn't resolve this $3,800. So I want to flip your mindset. Right now, what you should do is your credit is going to move up. You can do some things to get that taken off, but don't let that stop you from moving forward because that's not the thing that's holding your credit at 630. I'm just telling you there's probably other things that you need to resolve. Here's someone here said, been working on my credit score for a hot minute, which is good. That means that a long period of time, and it just went up for 50 points. But the denial from a soft credit inquiry report, my credit score was 100 points below what it actually is. Do you have a video of the good and bad credit? Not sure. Supposed to be retail credit cards like Visa and of course the credit utilization. I would like to pick up a decent credit card for me and not just any card. Yeah. What I'm getting from this is that 50 points, but the denial from the soft credit inquiry reported my credit score was 100 points below what it actually is. Um, Not sure on that. Usually, what I've seen with when you have a FICO score is what everybody is going to use to get your credit, to approve you for credit. And everybody else is using, well, not everybody, but Vantage Score is the score that they give you when you do credit monitoring, and then they make you pay if you want to get a FICO score. Uh, but what I've seen is your Vantage Score is usually lower than your FICO score. That there was a something that they did with the algorithm that allowed the FICO scores to be higher than what the Vantage score. It used to be flipped where a lot of people's Vantage score was higher, but when they actually ran their credit, the FICO score was lower. Let me tell you what I believe happened, and this is I had a video on it, and you can look it up. It's filters. Every lender has a filter that they use to approve people. And your credit score, your FICO score could be higher, but when they run it through their filters, and this is what a filter could be, it could be if you're married, it could be time on the job, it could be your amount that you utilize on your credit, it could be your income, it could be your zip code, it could be all types of things, and they use that to pull down points on or even to not approve you. They do that. People are not aware of this. Even the people who work with mortgage companies, I've talked to them about it, and they're not even aware of it. And they were they didn't know that when they ran someone's credit, that when it goes through that filter process, that they could be told from their own system that the person cannot be approved or they could be approved or their interest rate had to be a certain amount because they're not going to just go look at your credit score. It don't work that way. They're not going to just go look at your credit score and just say, oh, we're going to take these scores and approve you. No, these companies have their own filters built in and they will not approve you. You could have excellent credit and you go into a lender and they say, well, because of, you didn't graduate from college, uh, because you didn't, uh, you live in, they don't say you live in a zip code, but they call it a risk factor because the risk factor or because of you're not married and they don't outright say it to you that way, but they're just what they basically come and say is they either say you're denied or this is the rate that we can offer you right now, and then you have to be as a customer say no to the deal and go shop somewhere else. But when it comes to doing major credit cards, if you have a good score, you can usually get approved, and you need to do it with one of the major credit cards, not a secured card, but you have to be careful when you do it. If you've gotten a solicitation from a company, and I think that this is what you maybe were saying is that you got solicited for a major credit card and then they turned you down. I would be skeptical of that because that what I would think is that your scores were not really different. What it was is that the filters on that card was different, made you get declined, or maybe you had business with them before, or an affiliate of them before, and you're put on an internal list to turn you down for the card. Here's someone here. They said, "I need help on a." Well, I'm gonna answer you on this one. This is not from the charge off write off video. Well, I will go ahead and answer. I need help on an earnings withholding order from a court judge. It's from Wendy's for $3,000. Don't know how this happened. If you can help me, that would be great. I would need more information on that. I'll write back here on YouTube about that. Um, Here's one here. When a credit card closes your account, how can they still charge you for late fees and interest for months later? They can do that until the balance is paid. They can close the open end portion of the credit card account, but you still have to pay that off, so it's still an account. It's like if you had a, let's just say, like uh, I'll use my dentist. Like, say you have a dentist that you pay payments to, and you did a service that was like $3,000, and you're paying your individual dentist payments on that, and you, it's not an open account. Is considered just an account that you have with them and you're paying payments until it's paid off. What they've done is they've transitioned that into a closed-end account, you have to keep paying on it, but they're not going to give you open credit where when you pay it down, you have that available amount open. That's why that can happen. Someone stated here, glad you brought this up. I started paying off my Capital One credit cards that got charged off. Even though I was making $10 payments here and there, they stated in reporting I'm making payments on time, which was bogus and slightly raised my credit score. Well, what it was I'm thinking that you were paying a collector, but it might not be paying a collector, but you're paying the payments and they reported it as positive, which which is good. Your score started moving up because you were paying them payments. But I'm thinking that you may be paying a debt collector. But Capital One does hire out for debt collectors, and they accept the payments going directly to Capital One. So that is something that could be happening. Okay, well, we're going to end the video here. I've answered a lot of questions in this one. Uh, I'd like to ask everyone to subscribe if you haven't subscribed. I need to get that score, not score. I need to get my numbers moved up on when I put a video out that people get notified of the videos, and I think subscribers get notified automatically. Hit the notification bell of new videos that are coming out because that will help bring that numbers up because I'm doing this to help as many people as possible. And also, when you do that, you help other people help their awareness so they can get help. Uh, and if you need help with your credit, please visit the website, thecreditrepairshop.com. If you need help get your scores, please go to the website, the number 3scores.com. And if you have uh, any issues with debt collectors that you want to do a debt validation or they're coming after you for debt that's past statute of limitations, get my free letter and make a donation. I see a lot of people. I had, I think, over 100 and some people over 1 week that got that free letter, and I had five people that did a donation. Five people, and I'm saving you. I'm saving you from debt. I'm giving you an answer, a real one, not just one of these standard YouTube type, wishy-washy answers. I'm giving you stuff that I held back and I only do for my customers that pay us hundreds and thousands of dollars. So please make a donation. Maybe it was my fault that I didn't say that I really would want you to make a donation, but it's not required. But I really do want you to make a donation because I do take the time to make these videos here on YouTube. All right, thank you. And this is Stephen Andrew Williams. And until next time, everybody have a safe and safe and happy day and weekend. Thank you.